All right, welcome back. So it's Saturday morning. I would be out on the lake, but wind's blowing over 30 miles an hour. The temperature dropped about 20 degrees last night. Fish aren't going to be biting, and I don't feel like braving the weather. So it's unboxing time. We got our Mystery Tackle Box Pro from Catchco for the month of December 2016. If you're not familiar with Mystery Tackle Box, where have you been, man? But seriously, if you're not familiar with Mystery Tackle Box, it's a subscription-based company, and now a subsidiary of Catchco, their new parent company. Well, it's the same company. They just changed the name of the parent, the umbrella that's all under. You send them $15 a month, or in the case of this one, $24.99, I believe, a month, and they send you a box of tackle with something more than that. So, well, let's dig in and see what we got. Right on top, we got our what's inside the box card. So, pushing toys for tots, great cause. Let's see what we got. All right, from Live Target, got the sunfish, Live Target topwater sunfish. I've heard kind of mixed reviews of this thing. I've thrown it a bit. I haven't gotten any bites on it. It walks incredibly well. The lack of skirt actually makes this thing, and nothing to act like a keel. So this thing walks fantastically well. Like all Live Target lures, it looks amazing. My only complaint is, hey, that's the part the bass sees. So if they had continued the paint pattern over the weight plug there, it would have been great. It's built on a trocar hook as well. The primary complaints I've heard about this is the throat on this hook isn't big enough. So when the fish bites, you don't really get enough of a compression in here. This doesn't push down enough to get a nice positive hookup, which, like I said, is unfortunate because these trocar hooks are amazing. I love trocar hooks. So take that for what it's worth. But it's this looks readier, I'm guessing. Blue yellow pumpkin seed. And this is the larger one, I believe. Yeah, this is the 3-inch. So this is the bigger of the two. I really want this thing to work. Talking to Gene Jensen, he said these things get just absolutely annihilated, but the hookup ratio on them is absolutely terrible. So they're great for finding fish. They're horrible for catching fish. Not a great combination, but hey, I'll keep throwing it. I'll make my own decision once the conditions permit. So that is the topwater sunfish from Live Target, and that retails for $13.49. All right, next up, from Baker Lures, we get the RGD series Suspending Crankbait. 2¼ inch, ½ ounce. This just looks to be basically a bone white, or not even a bone white, just a pure white, which is funny because that actually works. Regardless of water color, water clarity, a white crankbait actually works fairly well. Good high pitch rattles, flat wire split rings, pretty sharp hooks, so fairly decent hooks. Okay, so what hooks are on here? Yeah, so comes with VMC hooks on it. Detail of the bait's really good. This is just a real plain white paint job. But what I like about this is, especially this time of year, they claim this is a suspending. Depth of 3 foot to 6 foot. And but the great thing about these is it should suspend at the running depth. So you stop the retrieve, and it should just pause there, either slow float or slow sink, or just hang out right where it is. So almost like a small profile crank, or a small profile jerkbait, suspending jerkbait, but fishes more like a crankbait. So I wish more companies made suspending crankbaits. They've got a the fact that they don't float, like aren't high buoyant. They don't come through cover quite as well, but in the case of this one, fairly large lip, should run fairly nose down and help protect the hooks from hanging up. You know, especially in the wintertime, being able to stop the retrieve and have the bait just park there in the strike zone is really a benefit. So, hey, if more companies make suspending crankbaits. But that is the RGD series suspending crankbait from Baker Lures, and that retails for $7.49. Like I said, hooks are sharp. All right, next up we got the Boom Boom Swimbait from Optimum. Okay. Alright, so this is basically just a large soft-bodied swim bait. Let's see what color this is. Ghost minnow, so good color from my normal waters. A little bit of molding flash around the top. Basically, the way they make these lures is they put it in it pours in a mold this way. So this is actually the top of the mold. It's just an open-topped mold that they use. So it says Boom Boom in the eyes there. Essentially, the way you're going to fish this, there's a flat spot on the nose of the bait. You'll use a screw lock swim bait hook, and then park the hook in the belly of the bait. So to expose it, the hook point just lays across the top here, and when you set the hook, the belly of the hook will end up, and if you're using a belly weight on it, will end up in the slit. Seems to be fairly tough. Got a nice big boot tail on it. Should have fairly good action to it. It's a little bit of molding flash around the top. That's not that big a deal. It does have a very plasticky smell, so this might be a prime candidate for putting some scent on it, or keeping it in a bag with some scent to get some scent embedded in the lure before you throw it. But pretty cool little bait, and that is the Boom Boom Swim Bait from Optimum Baits, and it's in 5 or 6 inch model. I'm not sure how big this thing is, but 6 inch. The bait itself weighs almost 1.5 ounces, so if you're going to run a belly-weighted swim bait hook, just keep in mind you'll probably find yourself in the range of needing something more than just your normal heavy rod. Probably looking for something rated in the 2 ounce range for your rod, so possibly an extra heavy power, and depending on the hook you use, at least a moderate fast, possibly a fast action, just to be able to get a good hook set and plant that hook. That's the Boom Boom Swim Bait from Optimum Baits. It retails for $5.50. All right, next up from Lake Lunkers Custom Baits, got the Twin Tail. So it's kind of funny. This is the second thing I've gotten from Lake Lunkers. An exact same issue with this one as the previous one, and that's the color. This bait is basically almost completely clear, with just a little tiny bit of flake in it. So it's a twin tail grub. I mean, obviously makes a good swim bait trailer. You could use it as a spinnerbait trailer, but really about all this thing's going to do, it's not going to provide a whole lot visibly for the bass to cue one, but these the twin tails here will move some water, so you get a little bit extra vibration, and yeah, so I'll give it a try. Actually got a swim jig that this thing might work out on, and fairly well in some skinny water. So that is the Twin Tail, and this is a 6-pack. It looks like a 6-pack for $3.19. All right, next up for Mizmo baits, we got the Doodle worms. And it's basically just a really small finesse worm. So 4.5, 5 inch, about a 4-inch finesse worm. It really looks like a very much a scaled down zoom trick worm. Its color looks to be pumpkin with black and purple flake in it. So it's got 2 different sizes of black flake. It's got some large black flake and some small black flake, and then it's shot through with small purple flake. Decent clear water color, and just a nice finesse bait. So it'd be great on a shaky head, great on a drop shot, on a really small shaky head or a drop shot, or you could use them with like a Mojo rig or something like that. So a real light Carolina rig. That is the Doodle worm. This looks to be probably a 20-pack for $4.99. Looks like there's some blue flake in these as well. They call it Vita Blue. Right, last up we have the Power Lock Plus 9/0 from Mustad. So looking at that Optimum Swimbait, where I said basically you rig it on a screw lock Swimbait hook. Well, here's your screw lock Swimbait hook. 9/0 hook, nice big hook, nice big bait. So Mustad hooks, good hooks, nice stout hook. These are, it says 9/0, it doesn't give me a weight. If I had to guess, I would say these are probably quarter ounce, probably a quarter ounce weight. These hooks on Mustad, the thing about them is you can move the weight around on them a little bit. They're not crimped in place. They're not melted onto the shank of the hook. So you can actually move the weight up and down the shaft of the hook a little bit just to adjust the way that the bait falls. So you can push it all the way forward, the bait will fall a little bit more nose forward. You can push it to the back and then the bait will fall level. So, all right, so that's all the baits in the box. Also in the box we got the new Catchco sticker, and this is their zombie bass they came out with for Halloween. Pretty cool looking sticker. Find a spot for that on the truck or the boat. I may trim it out a little bit just so there's not so much background on it, but cool looking sticker. And then we got our Dibble Digest, How to Fish Grass, Spider Grubs, 3 ways to catch more bass on buzz baits, light line techniques, how to fish the grass with 4 different baits, and Spider Grubs, 3 ways to rig and fish them. So, looking forward to reading that. All right, that's it for this month, and check out my other videos, more unboxings, and my Bienville fishing videos as well. I'll hopefully be able to get out on the water here the day after Christmas. Look for a video coming out of that. Also obviously weather dependent. But anyway, till next time, cheers and tight lines.